Tonight, Minnesota's deed commissioner makes a stop in Duluth to see how businesses have fared during the pandemic and how the state can help.
Plus, an Iron Range mayor makes a case for President Trump as he takes some time in the spotlight during the Republican National Convention.
And the latest from Kenosha, Wisconsin, after a night of unrest led to the fatal shooting of 2 people.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Since the start of the pandemic, Northland businesses have had the opportunity to apply for certain loans and grants from the state.
Today, the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development Commissioner made a stop in Duluth to speak to leaders and businesses to learn how they've benefited from state assistance. CBS3's Natalie Grant explains.
As a part of his listening tour, Commissioner Grove stopped at local businesses that have benefited from state support to stay afloat during the pandemic. One stop was at the India Palace restaurant on Superior Street, where Commissioner Grove was able to speak with the owner, who says without the $30,000 small business loan from the state, his restaurant may not still be standing today. Grove says that traveling to hear stories like this helps him better understand what small businesses like the India Palace need from the government going forward.
It's a really difficult time for the restaurant industry, and it's important to me that we don't just think about that in St. Paul, that we get out into the market and talk to business leaders like Willie here to see what they're dealing with, understand their concerns, and figure out more about what government can do to help.
Grove added that outside of the Twin Cities, the Northland has been one of the hardest hit areas in the state, with 30% of workers in the region applying for unemployment insurance. He says that number is starting to shrink, but numbers are still high. Coming up tonight at 10, we will hear much more from the commissioner's listening tour and ways that the state is looking to support Northlanders.
All right, thanks, Natalie. Let's go to the weather now with Dave. Dave, we had some rain during the 5 o'clock hour. Is that going to continue this evening?
Yeah, we still have rain chances through the evening hours in Minnesota and perhaps past midnight for Wisconsin and the UP as those twin low pressure systems continue to work past the area. And their twin warm fronts brought us towards warmer than normal conditions here. We had high temps running roughly from 75 to even 85 degrees out there. And of course, that extra heat energy provides lift to help sustain the storms, and it all comes together to bring us these chances for rain tonight. That could go about 50 to even 60%. 40 to 60, we'll say, just to spread the odds out a little bit. So thunder tonight is still possible from those 2 low pressure systems, though sunshine could return as early as sunrise come Thursday. That sends us to our day planner then, starting with the forecast tonight. Yep, still rain chances in Minnesota till 10 p.m. to midnight or so, and then Wisconsin, Michigan from midnight to 2 a.m. But high pressure takes over for Thursday, making it mostly sunny to partly cloudy during the daylight hours. But once we get into Thursday night, yet another low, a third one, brings back the clouds and then brings back storm chances for Friday, and we'll talk about them coming up after just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Former Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton is undergoing intensive physical therapy after slipping and falling in his kitchen earlier this month. In a Facebook post this morning, Dayton wrote he underwent surgery to relieve pressure from internal bleeding after hitting his head on August 4th. Dayton wrote he returned home Tuesday after spending 2 weeks at Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Center. He said he's expecting several more months of outpatient rehab and is expected to make a full recovery. Dayton served as governor from 2011 to 2019.
The ESCO School Board voted Tuesday on their back-to-school plan for the fall. They approved a plan that includes hybrid learning for high school students and in-person learning for elementary students. High schoolers will be broken into 2 groups based on alphabetical order, and we have more details about the plan on our website.
After saying goodbye to their old leader, the DEC has appointed a new interim executive director. During a virtual meeting this morning, the board of directors appointed Roger Reinert to take over for Shelley Townsend. Reinert is a former Duluth City Councilor, Minnesota State House and Senate member, and a current member of the U.S. Navy Reserve. As he leaves his former position on the board, Reinert is hoping to lead the group through financial difficulties.
This is probably the DEC's most critical hour in its entire history, and I'm excited to be able to bring to the DEC and to the team that we have here my experiences in crisis management, in communications, government affairs, and my background as a lawyer to try and help navigate these next few months.
The board of directors will now work with Mayor Emily Larson to fill the open position.
And at the same meeting, DEC leaders provided an update on their operations as they make their way through COVID-19 struggles. According to the director of operations for Amsoil Arena and Bayfront Festival Park, ticket sales are doing better than expected on the Irvin. The team is also sold out on all of their movies in the parking lot events. As for what comes next, they may implement a COVID-19 testing site, turn a convention center into a daycare for families, and possibly turn Bentleyville into a drive-through this year.
There was a potential threat for Bentleyville leaving the Bayfront and Canal Park Business District and heading to Indian Point Campground. We figured out a way to do a drive-through. Bentleyville will remain in Bayfront for this winter.
However, Bentleyville's executive director told us they are still considering a wide variety of options, but they will inform us if they are even doing anything in this challenging year.
The Ashland and Bayfield League of Women Voters held a rally today celebrating the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment. The 19th Amendment gave white women the right to vote. The League of Women Voters held a parade and rang bells throughout Ashland and Bayfield. People wore white, purple, and gold to honor the occasion. Churches in the area tolled their bells 19 times in honor of the amendment's certification.
The Minneapolis Police Department announced an overhaul of its use of force policy, part of the ongoing reform process after the death of George Floyd. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey says the goal is to limit use of force to times when it's strictly necessary to keep people safe. The new policy requires officers to consider all reasonable alternatives before using force. They're also required to document the alternatives they considered. The policy redefines force to include things like unholstering a weapon or even just making threats.
By defining these as uses of force, officers will be expected to justify their actions. And if those actions are found to be in violation of this policy, disciplinary actions will be taken.
Frey says the new policy goes beyond state and federal requirements, setting a new standard for police conduct.
There are plenty of questions and few answers into what sparked a fire that destroyed an historic building in Hibbing on Tuesday. Tonight, an investigation remains underway as the Moose Lodge and nearby businesses begin picking up the pieces. CBS 3's John Cardinelli is live for us once again tonight in downtown Hibbing. John, you spent most of the day there yesterday, a much different scene from 24 hours ago.
Kristen, that's right. We were out here on scene 24 hours ago at the Moose Club while the fire departments here were trying to battle the blaze. And tonight, it's much more calm as investigators are here trying to figure out the cause of the fire. Now, we're going to show you a little bit of the aftermath and what it looks like today here. You could see just scattered across the ground here, some burnt ash is what it appears. And we cannot cross this caution tape, obviously, but the door is cracked here. And you could just take a peep inside of that door and that stairwell there, and you could just see pieces of burnt wood scattered up and down that stairwell. And Hibbing's Fire Chief Eric Jankala tells us there are still questions to be answered, but we do have some more information tonight. Investigators are interviewing the building's owner to find out more about the building. The chief says nearby businesses suffered some smoke and water damage. As for the Moose Lodge, Hibbing Chamber of Commerce President Shelley Hansen says it's an emotional loss for the community.
The loss is tremendous, not only in just business and the economy for the staff and the business and our customers, the people that utilize the building, but also just the fact that it's a historical building. It's one of the original buildings that was built from the Oliver Mining Company when the city of Hibbing moved.
The fire chief says authorities will be conducting a structural assessment of the building tomorrow. And we've since now moved to another angle of the building just to show you some more of the aftermath here. Up there you can see all of the windows broken through, burnt out, and we do know that the roof of this building collapsed, so it only leaves to the imagination to wonder what the inside of the building looks like. And we'll continue to keep you updated on this situation as more develops on air, online, and on our mobile app.
Yeah, certainly a sad scene there, and as we often do in situations like this, we have seen the community really come together and rally behind the folks who own that building, and it's something we'll certainly continue to follow. Thanks, John.
A teenager has been arrested and charged in connection with the shooting near a Black Lives Matter protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin last night.
17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse from Illinois is charged with first-degree intentional homicide. He says he was protecting life and property in the area. The shooting left 2 people dead and another wounded. During a third night of unrest with people protesting the police shooting of Jacob Blake, cell phone video appears to show Rittenhouse with a semi-automatic rifle being chased by demonstrators. The video shows the gunman fell to the ground and started shooting. He then got up and started walking down the street as more gunshots rang out. He walked with his hands up toward police vehicles arriving on the scene.
The sheriff there said armed people, who he called a militia, were patrolling the city's streets like a vigilante group. President Trump said he is sending federal officers to Kenosha, and the governor has deployed 500 additional members of the National Guard to help restore the peace.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, a northern Minnesota nurse prepares to take his skills to the south as Hurricane Laura approaches.
Twin warm fronts in our neck of the woods sent our high temp up to 86 degrees at Duluth Airport today. But temperatures that warm won't last much longer. We'll talk about a cool down after we pass our storm chance tonight. All of that after the break.
Watch Dave, Caitlin, and Austin for local weather you can trust on CBS.
Tune in Saturday mornings for the Link Ford lineup, where we will show you amazing vehicles on our lot, like this 2017 Ford Taurus SEL with a remote start, a backup camera, and more for just $314 a month. Or check out this 2014 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT for only $399 a month. Want to see more? Then be sure to watch this Saturday. Visit us online at linkmotors.com or stop by either one of our 2 locations to view our complete inventory. Link Ford, where reputation is everything.
School's starting. Is your internet fast enough? Gear up during Extreme's End of the Summer Sale. Get fast internet as low as $19.99 a month for 1 year. Extreme's fiber-powered internet gets an A+ for performance with speeds from 60 meg up to 1 gig. Powerful in-home Wi-Fi and 99.99% network reliability. Hurry and get Extreme internet for as low as $19.99 a month for a year. Dial 844-EXTREME2. It's the smart call.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The affordable new MX series has a lot to offer. The versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade, and clear brush and snow. A spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. Excellent loader lift capacity, hydrostatic or gear transmission options, and built to get every job done right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
No one serves you better than Duluth Implement.
Has your roof seen its better days? Call Peak Construction Roofing today for your free estimate at guaranteed affordable rates. Peak Construction can finance you and will help you step by step from start to finish. Call the best, Peak Construction Roofing. They'll do the rest. Let us take care of you.
Here is a peek at the West Duluth Super One Liquor location, a new and improved store right in your neighborhood. Super One Liquor has you covered for all of your party and gathering needs. We have a commitment to deliver outstanding service, variety, and top quality wine and spirits. And don't forget the best variety of ice-cold beer and beverages. Super One Liquor. Come for the service, leave with the savings.
The 2020 summer clearance event at Duluth Dodge just got better. New Laramie crew cabs from $358 a month. Bighorn crews from $298. Ram Warlock quad cabs from $228. Only at the new Duluth Dodge, 4755 Miller Trunk Highway, or Duluth Dodge, Minnesota.com.
This is a really weird house.
I choked on a banana.
The more twists, the more crazy the house is, the more people start to panic. I like that.
At this point in time, everyone else is fair game.
Are you gonna come after me? Like, stupid.
Like, I'm so ready to just, like, run in slime and flip upside down.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm like, yes, black girl magic, let's do it.
New Big Brother All-Stars, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8, 7 Central on CBS.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3. CBS3 weather is brought to you by Duluth Implement. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, about an hour ago, we got some rain coming down here in Duluth. It was fairly brief, but fairly hard. Couple of claps of thunder. Well, that's rolled into Wisconsin, so now we take a live look at Ashland to see if it's made it there yet, and it looks like it hasn't. Latest radar image shows it's over more towards places like Herbster and hugging the South Shore. So maybe it'll get to Red Cliff, maybe it'll work through to Washburn and Ashland. We'll keep an eye on the radar screen for you. In fact, until about 10 o'clock tonight in Minnesota, and maybe past midnight for Wisconsin and the UP. That's how much longer longer our storm chance should last before it fades away to set us up for a pretty decent day on Thursday. We'll talk more about it, of course, after we look at these current conditions that are happening at the Duluth International Airport at 77 degrees after a high of 86 or so. Relative humidity is 84%, and that's actually come down just a little bit in the past hour and a half. Wind right now is westerly, northwesterly, 8 miles per hour, so that's come down just a touch as well. And the barometric pressure holding steady on the low side at 29.73 inches of mercury. Twin low pressure systems working through our area. We'll talk about that too in a little more detail in just a bit, but right now the current temperatures show upper 70s for the Upper Peninsula, about 72 cooler by the lake for Superior, to as warm as 80 still in Hayward there in the Wisconsin side of life. And in Minnesota, we're looking at some 60s on the North Shore. Otherwise, the rest of the Arrowhead is in the low to mid 70s. Cloud cover coming in with the twin lows, hampering the temperatures at the moment, even though a lot of places did crack 80 degrees earlier today. So again, with the two low pressure systems coming through, one over this way, one down that way, twin warm fronts set the temperatures up and also providing the lift for this precipitation we're seeing right now that at the current moment, it is being spotted, like I mentioned, on the South Shore. There it goes. It is heading towards Ashland, so I think you're probably going to get it there in the next 15 minutes to a half hour. And there is a slight chance here as the low-pressure system works through the area tonight that we could get some severe storms embedded into the system, so watch out for that. Be ready to seek shelter till about midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then for tomorrow, we get calmer weather with high pressure bringing in a day's worth of sunshine. Much more benign than what's happening for the Gulf Coast, where Laura is now expected to be a Category 4 hurricane with winds of 150 miles per hour. Gulf Coast folks facing quite a situation here over the next couple of days. What we face by Friday is just another run-of-the-mill low-pressure system that could bring some thunderstorms that go away just in time for the weekend. And Saturday and Sunday could be a sunnier story to tell, and it's a tale we'll tell with our 7-day forecast, starting with Chapter 1 tonight in Minnesota. 40% storm chance, low temps about 53 to 62. Wisconsin, Michigan, 50% storm chance, low temps 59 to 62 there. Then for tomorrow, Wisconsin, Michigan, partly cloudy and 77 to 82 for your high temps. And looking at Minnesota, low 70s by the lake, near 80 inland. One of the warmer days for the next 7 days, because eventually things are going to be cooling down. Yeah, we dropped to the low 70s from Friday through Sunday, and then into the 60s Monday and Tuesday. But as far as things go precip-wise, we get some tonight, maybe again on Friday. Dry Saturday, Sunday, Tony and Kristen, followed by another round of rain, even with some thunder punctuating things here come next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Thanks, Dave. Among those who spoke at the Republican National Convention last night was the mayor of Eveleth. The lifelong Democrat focused on mining and Iron Range's economic struggles during his virtual address. CBS 3's Emma Quinn has the story.
President Donald Trump. He made good on his promises.
In front of a national audience Tuesday, Eveleth Mayor Robert Veselovich gave a virtual address during the Republican National Convention.
Since the Iron Range economy is vulnerable to economic trends and to foreign trade, we have always needed a strong voice in Washington.
Veselovich threw his support behind the Trump administration during his address, pointing to how the administration has helped bring the Iron Range back to life.
The radical environmental movement has dragged the Democratic Party so far to the left. This is hard for me to say because I am a lifelong Democrat.
With the help of a speechwriter and a media team, Veselovich recorded the speech in Eveleth's City Hall on Sunday.
Well, you had certain time constraints, so you had people helping you up, fit things in, and I wrote one out myself, and we were tweaking that, and I never experienced anything like that. I've been doing this for 18 years.
Veselovich says he was grateful the RNC gave the small town communities a platform to speak during the convention.
And how they give the small communities the opportunity, which we never had before. Very seldom you'd get that on a Capitol, but to get that on a national stage at a major convention like that, it was really humbling.
Iron Range political columnist Aaron Brown says it's a great opportunity for the community, but hopes the RNC didn't give the wrong impression.
To be frank, it's kind of being painted as a longtime Democrat endorses Trump, when in fact he had much earlier converted over to a more conservative viewpoint.
Adding, hopefully the speech helps show what small towns are dealing with.
Because of the economic crunch happening in rural and industrial places, in the United States and around the world.
Brown says only time will tell if the speech made an impression on the rest of the country.
The mayor got his moment in the spotlight. The rest is up to people to sort out and figure out when they vote.
The mayor added he supports the Trump administration's mining efforts, saying more dialogue needs to be had between everyone. And by the way, Vice President Mike Pence is visiting Duluth on Friday.
Well, here in the Northland, we won't see many effects from Hurricane Laura. However, an International Falls nurse is already helping with the Red Cross relief. John Decker is a registered nurse and has done missions like this before. He has helped during Hurricane Florence, Hurricane Maria, and even volcano damage in Hawaii. Decker will be heading up the entire Red Cross Disaster Health Service response for the hurricane. Along with Decker, there will be 600 trained disaster workers helping support communities threatened by Hurricane Laura.
Coming up in sports, an historic day in all of sports as players take a stand. Kelly has the details coming up.
Up to 60% off on summer clothing and footwear from the North Face in Columbia at Northwest Outlet.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. The TED event is happening now, where you're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
We can help you at Ketamine North Infusion Center.
I've been suffering from PTSD and anxiety for 17 years. It has helped tremendously more than the pharmaceutical medication I've been taking.
To learn more, visit us online. Be well with us at Ketamine North Infusion.
Join our team at St. Anne's. St. Anne's Residence is calling to service nursing assistants, LPNs, personal caregivers, and food service workers. We offer excellent pay, bonus opportunities, and great people to work with. Apply online. Together, we are St. Anne's strong.
Do you have a coffee smile? Drinking coffee causes yellow teeth for thousands of people just like you. And whitening toothpaste just doesn't make those stains go away. Introducing Power Swabs, the first teeth whitening system that lifts coffee stains off your teeth in less than 5 minutes without whitening strips or trays.
I've smoked, I've drank coffee, I drink red wine. It makes my teeth darker. And using Power Swabs, it's made a difference. People ask me, what do you do to whiten your teeth? And I'm really proud to tell them that I use Power Swabs.
This didn't sting, it didn't burn, it didn't have an aftertaste. It was just a swab, and I just got to rub it on my teeth, and that was it.
The secret is a tooth detergent and whitening agent developed by Dr. Martin Ginneker that lifts stains off of your teeth. Power Swabs remove stains on natural teeth, veneers, bonding, caps, and crowns. The best part is you just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you'll have whiter teeth. No more sitting at home with a whitening strip or tray in your mouth for 30 minutes twice a day.
So with the strips I've used in the past, most of them are like you got to leave it on for 30 minutes and the whole experience is just not comfortable. But with Power Swabs, I just snapped it open and rubbed it on and it was good to go.
When I used these whitening strips, I noticed when I would drink, I would get this crazy sensitivity. It would go right to my brain and I'm like, I hate this. So why do I have to go through the monstrosity of this pain just because I want to whiten my teeth? With Power Swabs, there was zero sensitivity.
Within the first day with the Power Swab, I noticed there was a difference. I really love the fact that you're able to go individually on each tooth and make sure that it's going to be wider.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. Whiten your teeth today by ordering Power Swabs and receive 40% off the regular price. Yes, 40% off the regular price. Shipping is free, plus you'll receive a free Quick Stick pen. Visit powerswabs.com or call the number on your screen.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The Subaru Outback is all new for 2020. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 33 miles per gallon. An available 260 horsepower turbocharged engine, advanced technology, and an extra-large touchscreen. Welcome to the best Outback ever, the 2020 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you.
Lease a 2020 Subaru Outback during the Subaru A Lot to Love event going on now.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
This 45-second to 1-minute time slot right here was reserved for Game 5 of the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. The Milwaukee Bucks were set to play Orlando in the deciding game, but instead they continued to the pursuit of an NBA title. The Bucks decided to pursue something bigger. At 3:10 p.m., the Bucks and the Magic were slated to take the floor for tip-off when the Bucks never came out. And the world learned that the team has decided to boycott Game 5. This is in response to the recent shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin. According to a report by The Athletic, players inside Milwaukee's locker room were attempting to reach Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kale. The Bucks just released this statement on behalf of the entire team. The front office stands with the players and the decision that they made in order to address racial injustice, to demand accountability and change. The move by the Bucks didn't stop there. Soon after, we learned that Game 5 between the Rockets and the Thunder would not be happening as the teams make the decision to follow suit and sit out their game in protest. And it didn't take long for the NBA to act. The league postponed all 3 NBA playoff games from the bubble. They also said that all 5 games would be rescheduled, although no date was given. Following that, the WNBA just announced that none of their games would be played tonight as well. The Lynx were scheduled to play the Sparks. Players in the NBA bubble will meet in Orlando to discuss their next steps. And the domino effect continued for Wisconsin teams across the board. The Milwaukee Brewers were slated to face the Cincinnati Reds for Game 3 of the series at home tonight, and that will not be played. Earlier today, Brewers pitcher Josh Hader was asked about the Bucks opting out of their game, and he responded with, "I think it's a tremendous stand. This is more than sports," adding that the Brewers would likely be discussing whether or not they are going to play their game. As for the Twins, they are still on against Cleveland. Facing the Indians, Max Kepler hit a home run for the Twins in the top of the first to put them ahead early, 1-0. And locally, prep girls golf action. Superior meeting up with Northwestern on the links at Nemadji Golf Course earlier today. Solid outing for both teams. Number 1 for the Spartans, Keely Morehouse would lead the way as she finished with a 43. As for the Tigers, Allison Rabanen would join Morehouse at the top of the leaderboard. She also scored a 43. Not far behind the duo was Northwestern's Mackenzie Tura, who shot a 47. As for the final, Superior would go on to win 206-196. And the season opener for Duluth East girls tennis, they faced Duluth Marshall. In number 1 singles action, Ali Heidela facing Meredith Betcher. Off the serve, Heidela finds the corner on the nice return for the point. Then in doubles action, the duo of Ali Johnson and Ellie Gracemark getting it done. Gracemark with a nice pair of returns. First, this one just drops in front of the Hilltoppers for the point. Then later, she gets this one to land just inside for another Greyhound point. Today's winner, though, was the rain. They weren't able to compete for the rest of the matches. Play will resume at 4 p.m. on Thursday. Certainly a historic day in Sports World War 10. That's going to do it for sports for now. Kristen and Tony, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Let's get a final look at the weather, Dave. We're going to see more rain tonight?
Yeah, we're already seeing it for some towns. Let's go to the Doppler where we see on the big picture that the rain is lighter in Minnesota, but it's picking up intensity for the Bayfield Peninsula, as I mentioned just a little bit earlier here. So we'll zoom in just a little bit, and it looks like folks in Asheville will be getting some of that rain in just a matter of minutes. No warnings or anything right now, but just be careful in case the thunder does provide some lightning.
We'll see you at 10.